ranking chess openings to reach 2000 ELO fast. Right, welcome back everyone. We got another video today and we're going to be ranking the chess openings which you can play, and it's going to be based on how effective they are at getting you to 2000 ELO quick. Okay, so let's get into the video. Also, another thing, if you want to do some chess coaching with me, the offer ends in 2 days. It's currently 50% off, and the prices go up. So if you'd like to get good at chess fast, go click the link down below. If Stripe doesn't work for you, I also accept crypto payments and everything else. So let's get into the video. Right, so first of all, I want to actually say here, I've done most of these openings, and you can't fully see them on the full screen. They're going to come up, some of them. But I've done most of these openings based on how effective I think they are to reach 2000 ELO. And some of them as well are openings that I've just played against. And all of these openings I'm doing are ones that I'm familiar with. So I may miss some of your openings because I just have no idea. So I don't feel qualified to speak about them. So let's get into the first one. First one is the pick defense. Now, the pick defense, I'm going to go C. And I'm also referring to as playing as black. I've never played it as black, but I'm talking about how I played against it as white and my success rate. So I'm going to kind of flip it. So I think the pick defense is decent. However, you know, I think the pick defense has flaws. It's a bit of a passive opening. And for me, personally, I've had good results against the pick defense. I think it can be a nasty opening to play against, especially if black plays well and they play like moves like C6. I think it can be good. I'm going to give it a C. Now, next one I've got is Philidor's defense. Philidor's defense, I'm also going to give it a C. And I'm talking about if you play Philidor's defense as black. Now, the Philidor defense, for those of you who are not too familiar with it, is e4, e5, knight f3, d6. I can put a little diagram up here now, named after the famous chess player Philidor, as he was a great pioneer in pawn play, so that's actually why they awarded him the chess opening. Now, I think the Philidor's defense, especially if you play it as white and you play d4, you can have some great results against it. However, in the Philidor's defense, I've actually found that if black castles queenside, and you castle kingside, it can be a bit nasty. So I'm going to give Philidor's defense C. I still think you can have very good results against it. I'm not sure it's the most effective opening to get to 2000. Now, the next one is we've got the one that everyone on this channel knows about, is the Caro-Kann defense. Now, the Caro-Kann defense has to go, I'm putting it S tier. S tier because the Caro-Kann defense really helped me reach 2000 ELO fast. The good thing about the Caro-Kann defense is when you play as black and white plays e4, they're almost playing your chess opening. And I also want to say at the very end of the video, I'm going to give a bonus opening as well, which you can't currently see. So I'm going to give a bonus one at the very end. Now, I also think the Caro-Kann defense, I think it's a good opening. I think white can do well against it. But in terms of just morale and having your own chess opening, I think the Caro-Kann is a great one to get into, especially if you like to reach 2000 ELO fast. White's not going to really know what to do. Lots of the time, they'll just exchange and we're not too sure. Now, the next one I've got is the French Tirage. Now, the French Tirage opening I'm speaking about is when you play as white, black plays the French defense, and you play the Tirage variation. When you bring your knight out to d2, I can put another diagram out here. Even though I play this, I'm going to be brutally honest and give it a C. I think it's a good opening. I think black, though, still has a lot of good things. Actually, I'm going to move up to B. It's B. It's a good opening. You can try and memorize a lot of theory, but black is going to have... From my experience, black also has a very good time against the Tirage. I think you can go knight c3, which I missed out was the Winawer variation, which is good. I think if you play the French Tirage as white against the French defense, I think you're going to have good results. I don't think it's the greatest opening in the world, but I think it's still good. Another good thing about French Tirage is that you can kind of get into it, and you can kind of get into your own groove of learning your own lines, which I like. Now, the next one, we obviously got the London system. I think the London system's great for getting you out of 1000 ELO because it gives you a whole system so you can memorize them. There's lots of YouTube videos available to learn about the London system. I think specifically to reach 2000 ELO, from my experience, it can be a very frustrating opening to play against. But you're kind of playing a system opening, and I think just in general E4 is going to be a lot stronger. I'm going to give it a B. I think the London system can be very frustrating. I'm really saying that because London system is very frustrating to play against. But I still don't think it's goated. Now, next one is Jabava London system. I'm speaking about playing the Jabava London system with the white pieces. Now, with the white pieces, the Jabava London system's a deadly weapon. It can be, but the only downside, I think, to the Jabava London system is that you have to kind of learn and memorize a couple lines. I know from my personal experience of when I was playing it, I had to memorize a lot of lines just to kind of keep alive. Otherwise, black can get quite comfortable. So I think it's a very double-edged sword. You either win the game very quickly or you can get into a position where you're really screwed. So for that reason, from my personal experience, if I'm going to be brutally honest, I'm going to give it C. I think it's a good opening, but it's just real highs and real lows from my experience anyway, which I'm ranking this thing on. You may disagree, that's fine, let me know in the comments. Next one I've got is the Advanced Caro-Kann. I'm going to give this A. And I'm speaking about as white, if you got the Caro-Kann, you got the white pieces, you play the Advanced Caro-Kann when the opportunity comes. The reason why I'm going to give this A is because this is probably the hardest variation to play against, and lots of masters have said this, because I feel like the play's simple for white-ish, and black has to really pay attention and really really kind of know their stuff. I think you can, with the black pieces, blow the advanced variation off the board, but a lot of the times you're going to be in trouble, especially if white can start a kingside attack. It can not be very nice. Now, the next one is I've got the Roy Lopez. If you want to play with Roy Lopez, you want to reach 2000 ELO fast. From my experience, I'm going to give this A tier. There's a lot of lines in the Roy Lopez, especially like in the Steinitz variation, where you can really just wipe off black off the board. Like you can really wipe black off the board. However, if black plays the Berlin defense, or they play some line that they really like and they just study, you can have troubles, especially if maybe the Marshall attack. So it's a good opening. I'm going to give it A. However, because I play it personally, it's helped me. You're going to learn a lot as well. But if black knows what they're doing, you could be slightly cooked. Now, next one is I'm going to refer to as E4, E5. This is for the black pieces. If after E4 you play E5, just anything, I'm going to give this B tier because I believe is a lot of things to learn. Like, you've got to learn a variation for pretty much the Roy Lopez, the Petrov defense. You've got to learn a lot. So E4, E5 in general, especially if you play against for Roy Lopez, the Italian, I'm going to give it B because you can do very well, but I think it's a lot to learn. You've got to be a dedicated chess player. Now, next one is the Alekhine's defense. I'm going to give this B as well. I think the Alekhine defense is good because you got your own niche. I've had good results against the Alekhine's defense, but I've also had very tricky positions. So Alekhine defense, as we know, Will Taylor Chess likes to play the Alekhine's defense, which kind of makes the opening worse. So Alekhine's defense, I think, is a decent opening. However, I think you can do very well with the white pieces against it. So I'm going to give it B. Next one, we've got Nimza Modern Defense. I think Modern Defense I'm going to give C. I think as white pieces, you can do very well against this opening. And also, I personally don't really like the Modern Defense. That's just more of a personal thing. Modern Defense, I just think it's weird to play B6, G6. However, it can be frustrating. I'm not going to take that away. The next one we got is the Petrov Defense. Another opening that is decent. I feel like to get to 2000 ELO fast, I would probably avoid the Petrov's defense. I'm going to give it C. C could be a good opening if you really specialize in it, but I still think white does very well, and I'm going to give it C. Now, the next one is kind of ironic because it's the semi-Slav as black. or the Slav. So after d4, d5, after the kind of the Queen's Gambit c4, you play the semi-Slav. Even though I play this, I'm still going to give it a C tier. I only play it because I'm just too lazy sometimes. Actually, I'm not lazy. I'm very productive. But the semi-Slav can be... I play it, and I'm going to give it... I'm literally going to be honest here and give it a C tier. Just because of my results. I haven't had the best results with the semi-Slav, but it can be a fun opening to learn. So it's C. It's C. Actually, I'm going to give it B just because I play it. Next one up, we've got Nimzo Indian. Now, Nimzo Indian is a defense I don't really know too much about. I've experimented with it a couple times. I think it's a good opening to get the 1,000 range. As getting from 1,000 to 2,000 or 1,000 to 1,500, I wouldn't fully know. I'm going to give it a B tier because I think I've played it a couple times recently. There's a couple interesting pieces of strategy you can dabble in. I'm going to give it B tier from my experience as well. Now, the next one is we've got the Queen's Gambit. I'm going to give this A tier. The Queen's Gambit, I think if you play as white, you play d4, c4, and they play e6, and you've got your Queen's Gambit line, I think that's very effective. I think if you're a white player and you want to get really good at chess, Queen's Gambit could be a really good opening. You're going to learn a lot as well. So that is my tier list. Now, the bonus one I also want to say was the Sicilian defense is black. Sicilian, let me add it now. Okay, I've added them. I've actually added two because I've given you as black and I'm giving you as white. So first of all, if you play the Sicilian defense, I personally think it's slightly premature as it's quite a complex opening. I feel like you should get to 2,000 first and then play it. It's also a very good opening, so I'm going to give it B tier for that reason. Now, the next one as well, I'm going to give A tier, which is when you play the Sicilian, I'll put a diagram up now, is if you go knight e2, this is a weapon because no Sicilian player is going to be prepared for it, and you go basically knight c3 and g3. So this variation of the Sicilian defense, the Keres variation, is a great weapon. So that is my tier list. This is part 1. I may do a part 2. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, I think you might enjoy this video. Thank you for your time and attention. Have a good day.